Herdwatch is basically my super nanny. So everything I do gets put into Herdwatch and it just processes it all for me and then gives me my results at the end of it by an email. It's brilliant. So we have a 134 acre council farm here at Chance in South East Cornwall. We're milking 115 Friesian first calving, mainly heifers, averaging about 20 litres. So we're doing nearly 8,000 litres a year, calving all year round, half to sex semen, half to beef. So we'll keep the heifers as replacements and then sell the beef calves as stores at around 14-15 months.
Something
roughly.
like that, yeah.
We've also rent another 18 acres just up the road, which is grass with some sheds where we keep the young stock and cut some silagey hay over there as well.
So we're trying to do most of our own work internally, try and cut down contractors' costs. I do the bulk of field work as much as I can myself, hiring machinery from a local contractors so that to keep costs down, and then I work out a bit to pay that off and help do everything in-house as much as possible.
So my parents, they were dairy farmers. My mum was a dairy farmer's daughter, my dad was a dairy farmer's son. So I grew up with cows and milking and the routine twice a day, every day, loving the milking side of things. I really enjoyed the stock.
It's after we got married, we started looking at council farms, which is where we came into this unit, and took on the dairy enterprise through Kate's dad retiring. And we've also just done a lot of construction, some extra yard areas and infrastructure to the farm as well, silage pits, cow tracks. So yeah, we've gone into a pilot project, built a completely enclosed slurry pit which is going to be capturing methane. We're the first one in the country on this specific design of pit.
What you're doing can have a huge impact on everything else, so we were quite conscious to not spread too much fertiliser and not have cows housed for too long, and that's why the slurry pit works really well for us, because we get a really good digestate out of that, which in turn is going to help our grass production, which means we won't have to use so much fertiliser. So we don't have, in our parlour system, we don't have an automated system, it's all done sort of manually, so I had no way of recording information, so I googled a dairy app, and I think Herdwatch is one of the top ones that came up. So I thought, well, it's worth a try. It's an independent app that I can have on my phone or on the laptop, and it doesn't rely on anything else. It's, what you put in is what you get out. So that's how I came across it. So yeah, it is a management tool that we use day in, day out, multiple times a day for recording calves that are born. When we have our vet visit every fortnight, we record fertility, any problems with fertility, any cows that have been scanned and that are in calve, any cows that have calved and have any issues. It's all recorded down onto Herdwatch, and it's instant, so I can put it straight in as I'm stood there with the vet. We also do weight recording of heifers and calves and of the cows, so any medicines that anything have. So they have like yearly boosters for different things. That all gets recorded, so you can look up at any cow at any time and see its complete history, when it was born, if there was an issue when it was calving, what calf it had, where that calf went, how
and
heavy
also,
the calf was.
with the medicines, it gives us, you have a withdrawal period, so if you medicate a cow, you have to keep that milk out from the food chain for a certain time, usually 3 to 5 days. So the Herdwatch app will give you a notification from the day that you tell it you injected it, when that milk is in theory safe to use as well.
Because that's the way the world's going, isn't it? And it's anything to make your life easier. So before we had a diary, and all that information was then put into paperwork. So our office was just full of reams of paper, and a lot of it is duplicated.
We were writing it down, but you just can't get your hands on the information that you want.
Trying to get ready for an audit was just, it was mind-bending. And the poor kids got to suffer. They had to be, don't come in the kitchen because Mummy's trying to do paperwork. It was all a bit stressful. So I thought there must be some way that we can compress all that together to make it easier for us and for our inspections and for Arla and for our carbon footprint, and there had to be something that could keep it, and Herdwatch keeps it all together in one place, in one app. I downloaded the app off my iPhone, and then I had to sync it with the British Cattle Movement Service. They just send me an authorisation code which you put into Herdwatch, and then they do the rest for you. So they download all your information onto your app, and then you're good to go. And they do some quite good information, so you can search for things and they give you like a guide on how to do stuff. And they're a really good bunch of people as well, so if you ring them up or email them for anything, they are always really helpful and really happy to, you know, ring you straight back and talk you through stuff. And that's a big thing as well, because, you know, when stuff goes wrong, sometimes it goes quite wrong, doesn't it? And it's nice to think you can just ring them up and they just help sort it out. You never feel stupid ringing them up. It gives us more time of an evening, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it means we get to spend more time with the children, which we didn't have before, did we?
No,
'Cause we were pushing
evenings
paper.
or weekends was always paperwork. Now, if it's all done during the day, you can just sit down and relax of an evening with the children. Or
Me and the girls like going out with the horses, so it gives us a bit of free time to go and play with the horses. And you like your shooting, don't you?
yeah,
So you take the little boy out shooting and stuff, and yeah, it just gives you a bit of free time to enjoy those hobbies with them.
it's not all about work then, is it? By the looks of it, there's a lot more we can get out of Herdwatch yet, which will help the business more yet, which we haven't found out about.
It really has helped our farm keep on track. And I think, like you said, going forwards, there's so many other features on there that we can make the use out of. The whole app is brilliant. The whole thing is. I couldn't say one thing helps more than the other, because all of it is brilliant.